What's going on, friends? Got Maxace. Maxace Titanis. This is a large knife. I guess we ought to get that out in the open. It's Titanus. I think it's appropriately named. That's for sure. It's a big knife. It's a little over 11 inches overall length. The blade is 5.5 inches, and I'll show you. I mean, we'll kind of line it up maybe with a couple of other knives and show you how it compares. Whoa, baby. We got a 5-inch blade on this, which isn't 13 centimeters, but it's close to 13 centimeters. 11 and a quarter, almost a quarter, 11 and an eighth inch. So it's a little over 11 at about 28 and a half centimeters, okay? And not only that, but it's very impressive from this standpoint as well, which shows that it's about 20 millimeters thick, 0.78 of an inch, so almost 0.8 of an inch thick here, okay? And then let's roll this blade stock around here and get a bite of the apple where it's not been ground. 0.23 of an inch at almost 6 millimeters. So basically it's a quarter inch thick blade. Okay. Design flow is nice. Blade to handle length is pretty good right there. It's centered. No blade blare lock rock. There better not be. This thing was a lot of money, actually. $520. And then after discount on White Mountain knives, by the way. So let me throw this over here. And let's see, $520. So, yeah, it was after 10% discount, $468, something like that, for that. Now, if you wanted to get the Moku Tai model, and there's the stats, which I'd say 5 inches on that. Overall, 11.02. That's pretty close. Are they giving a thing? Nah, they aren't. Okay. Oh, are they giving a weight here? Yeah, that's close. I mean, that may be one of the other models. Mine's 13.7, I believe, and we'll throw it on here. And it comes with a carrying case. But see, you can get them in the gold titanium color. Okay, that's $520. This is $780, but that's with the Mokume. And then, of course, this was $780 with the Moku Tai. The thing is, the Timascus on the Vortex was only $100 more, but this is, the difference between, this would be close to $700 after discount. So almost $230 more for me to get this. Correct? Yeah. Because difference between $470 and $700. You see what I'm saying? So it wasn't worth the extra to me to do that. Here's what they look like on the Maxace side, a website. And so I don't know what's available. It looks like everything on White Mountain got sold out. But here's the Maxace website, and you can go there and see if there's any available. Here's a thing. I think this might have been AliExpress. And then here's a breakout of what it looks like disassembled. And obviously multi-row ceramic bearings. It's got a tool there because of these fasteners here. It need to be undone. But look at all this weight relieving going on here. And, of course, your extraneous parts from the outside. Lots of body screws. Other than that, nothing terribly complicated. And This you can do by you can just throw this out if you want. Okay, the detent's not that much, and you know, the problem is your blade is so heavy that it's going to defeat that regardless. And there's where when you go to close it up, there's where your, you know, detent ball, and you can just kick it over that, because how's it going to hold that blade back? That's a monster blade. But you can finger flick it open. You know, fidget friendly. It's just too big a knife to be anything like that. It's just an absolute monster. But I got it because, tell you the truth, I almost like the design of this better than the Vortex. And here's my Vortex. You know, and the Vortex is a bigger knife. And of course, my Vortex has a mirror blade on it. And so this was $800, and then after discount, it was like $720. And it's a little bit bigger knife. This is 12 inches overall length with a 5.5-inch blade. So technically, the blade is a 1/2 inch longer on the Vortex, and overall length is about 1 inch longer. Okay, but this is almost like a kukri type knife. It's got a big recurve. It's a different style of blade, and maybe not one so much that I adore as much as I like this, because this is going to give you contact patch. You definitely don't have a flipper tab to contend with here, but you should be able to do some chopping if you wanted to with that, which would be probably more practical than this. But I mean, if we're going to talk practical, it's ridiculous. Neither of these knives are practical. This is an exercise in design, craftsmanship, artistry, and just whatever. Because yeah, I mean, if those were the 3 goals, they could have made them smaller as well. But I don't know. I don't know what the driving force was of making them so big. But I like them. I do. I like the Midgard's Messer, big, Viking knife and all that stuff. So I like the big knives. They're way cool. And one guy was commenting saying, well, I mean, what you could have done with like the Vortex is you could have made this out of G10. You could have used a 14C blade. You could have, made it as a liner lock and thinner and much lighter. And you could have made this as a pocket sword. And then I go, yeah, and change your name to Cold Steel, right? I mean, Cold Steel makes a lot of big, huge pocket sword knives. That's great. They've got their own kind of market they've established as doing that kind of thing. But I said, I don't think that's what Maxace was trying to accomplish here. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. I don't know what they were trying to accomplish. I know one thing, they got my attention, and I really like this. And they make the Maxace Balance M and some other Maxace knives like the Babylon and stuff that are very practical and are very usable, lightweight or relatively light, and carryable. These, I don't know. I don't know what the deal was, but they are big. They are big knives. And I just thought, okay, so this is not as glitzy as the Vortex. Okay, I get you. But I thought, and here's something I thought I'd run by you, is that I really thought a lot about what my SO7. My SO7, ooh, baby, these are dangerous. These are freaking dangerous ass knives because they are sharp. And so the SO7 is not a baby knife. This thing is like 10 inches long. It's something really close to that. Where did I throw my tape again? Because here we go. So, I mean, we got a 4.5-inch blade, not 5-inch, and we got 10 inches. Okay, so this is an inch shorter again than this, okay? And I guess if we change our perspective here, they'll look a little closer as far as size goes. But this was just, you know, a knife where, you know, these extra little add-ons were on here, just like these, you know. And Blades We Love, okay, is, you know, they pimp, they do anode, they do a lot of different things now. But, I mean, they put this blue camo on here, and then he did this insanity, and then this gold type accent. So I thought, well, I could, you know, just buy the plain one, save $230, and then, you know, if I ever got around to it, I could get it pimped out. It might be interesting to see what Blades We Love would do there. You know, there's so many options of things that you can do. So, I mean, these are insane. This is the NOC SO7. You can't get this. This one pretty soon you won't be able to get either, except maybe on the secondary market for a shitload of money. And these Maxace knives like this and the Vortex, they just came in and then they just go. And then what are you going to do? I mean, they're just not going to be available. And they make a small production of them, so they don't make a lot. Right here, of course, it says Titanus M390. One guy was commenting, well, this ruins it for me because they put Maxace knives on here and they could have left that blank. I guess. I mean, if you tell every knife manufacturer, don't put your name on it, just go, you know, stealth. Well, then who knows what it is? You know, I mean, I don't know. I just don't blame a knife company for putting their name on a knife, okay? All the rest of this got jacked into here, so it's not visible. I'm okay. There's nothing on the blade. So, and this looks like it's the blade stop, doesn't it? Oh, let me get this out of here for a moment because I'm going to be talking about what's in that box, and then we'll do a disassembly. God bless America. And because I'm looking at this going, holy crap. 1, 2, 3, and we'll have that because that's the stop. And of course, God forbid they just put a stop in there like a normal knife. You don't have to screw it in from the sides. But then again, maybe this one you do, but you're going to have, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 screws on just one side, not counting the pivot. And then, of course, ooh, you got the pocket clip, and that comes from the inside. It looks to be, okay. So, alrighty. But no, put this on the scale, by the way, while we're pondering this, because 13.7, I think that's what it was. Hold on. Yeah, 13.7 ounces. 388 grams. That's insane. That's insane. Ergos on this knife, they're good. I mean, choose your spot. I mean, there's like, you know, 1.5 miles of line there, so wherever you want to tuck in. But this little finger choil here, the rest of them here. I mean, you know, it's huge. It's a huge handle. Do you want to jump up here and get up on like that? You could. And by the way, now we're looking at the blade. Okay. Whew. Okay, it's, I'd say it's a good factory edge. It's not scary sharp, but it's sharp. It's sharp enough to be absolutely terrifying for a knife this size. Because I'm going to be very careful with it, because once it defeats that detamp ball, or it gets over it, see, there it is, and you can just, ooh, right there. Once it gets over that detamp ball, like it probably is right there, I mean, it's just going to follow you around. So get your thumb out of the way. Get out of the way, because that blade is heavy enough, it's going to do a lot of damage. Now, come to think of it, they do give you this. They give you an actual sheath that you can put it in, and you got a tech lock package here, so you can put your belt like that, or like this, or you could move this tech lock thing around here to where take these screws off, well, and just take that mechanism off if you wanted to. Let me see, I guess it's got, oh, it's a holder for your pin. Okay. So this is interesting. Maybe you could move this around to maybe where you could cross draw it. I don't know, but that's a lot of stuff. But then again, maybe this would be the most intelligent way to carry this knife, because you just can't slide this in your pocket. I mean, you could slide this in your pocket. I don't know. I mean, I haven't tried to put this in my pocket because I think it's kind of crazy idea anyhow. But I don't know how this works. I don't know how well this pocket clip works. It's not very long compared to the length of the knife. And obviously you can't flip it either, so it's not left-hand friendly. And then this backspacer goes forever. Now, let's take a look at the box, because what's in the box is interesting as well. Of course, the knife comes in here. And of course, you get a microfiber cloth, Maxace on it, Titanus, and there's your card with your information on it. Okay? And then they're telling you, you know, how much it weighs. If you just get the regular one, 395 grams. And so I'm a little off on mine, but okay. 6mm blade stock, all that. The card, okay. And then here's a bag of hardware, and so there's a lot of stuff in here, okay. Okay, get it all out. So what do we got? Well, we've got the pivot stuff, okay? We've got the pin that goes in and secures through this hole, okay, up here. Okay, so that goes in like that. And then we've got these pass-throughs and stuff. Here's the tool to defeat this here on the pivot, okay? So there's that. I guess this is the little cap. I don't know why they didn't put this on the end of it, but a little cap here that will preserve the threads on the end of this here, okay? Pretty cool. And so what else have we got? Wow. I don't know. Is that the stop? It looks close, doesn't it? Or what else would it be? I don't know. We'll find out when we take it apart. And then we got all kinds of little screws, and yet then full-size body screws as well. Probably screws for, well, we'll see when we get it opened up. But you get a load of hardware in here. So that's convenient. There's a lot of stuff. I don't know. I mean, I know it's expensive as well. But then again, there's so many people out paying, what, $500 and this and that for, I mean, you name the knife. My Sharp by Design knife that I got, oh God, was $425. you know, so when I look at 468, it doesn't really strike me as particularly unusually expensive. And then I see a lot of, you know, other knives out there that are in the $400 and $500 range. So no, it doesn't really, yeah, 800. Yeah, now we're starting to get into custom territory, but this one wasn't 800. So we're good. Okay, so I guess these are number 8, so I need a number 8 for sure. And then I need this as well. And I guess, let me see if this will work for that. In other words, can I run this through here? Yeah, and use this as leverage. Although I can probably, and let's do that before we take it apart. You know, what's it like putting this on here and locking this blade in place? And obviously it feels like it, yeah, it comes from the front, not the back. That's where your threads are, back in here. And so you screwed that in. Now, I mean, there's no way you're going to defeat this steel pin. Well, I mean, it'd be, yeah, you'd have to destroy the knife pretty much to do that. So that'll lock it in place. You don't have to worry about it falling on your fingers now, that's for sure. It's not that obtuse either, is it? So that's kind of nice. It'd be nice if they had kind of a stealth way to, I've seen a knife before where they actually had it as one of their body screws or something, and that would be kind of cool, right? But no, could have been that way actually. That way you're carrying this with you at all times, instead of having to carry it separately. Although maybe you could put this on a lanyard. Okay, behave yourself, damn it. Okay, what do we got? Okay, that's the smaller, okay. And I don't know, I guess maybe you can actually take that off the blade, but maybe you would need to if it's European and you got to make sure it's a two-handed and that thumb studs are not legal. I don't know. This is the big dog here, and I'm not sure which side I'm better off trying to open up. But I guess I didn't need that little thing to use as leverage. There's that, okay? And then that's going to be it for what I'm going to need, correct? Now I just need these number 8s. I need to hold the backside screw so we don't turn the whole thing, but okay. Well, let's see if these are the same size, actually. If they were smart, they would be. And yeah, it looks like they are. Okay. And let's continue this, and then I got to go up front. Okay. And there's the surround. I was waiting for this to come out. Okay, there's my pivot surround here. Looks like it's a captured pivot, so that's interesting. What do we got? Oh, is this the, yeah, this is the, we're going to have to do this. So this is stop, and no, that's a different size. Okay, well, that's fine. Okay, now we should be able to remove, yes, we removed this, didn't we? Okay, there's that. What other little things are going to pop off of here? If we get these pass-throughs out of our way, we can remove this. Okay. Okay. We still do. That one didn't want to come back and be nice or play good or anything, did it? So we will get you off of there, my friend. And you know what? Let's take this off of here. Okay. Let's get this off to the side so we don't cut our hands off, because that is really dangerous. And are we gonna let go? Are you gonna let this go? You got a really tight grip on here. Oh, finally. Okay. There you go. Now will you go? Okay. Okay. Well, now we got bearings. We got bearings, and it looks like we got a little flat spot on here to capture that pivot, and it looks like on the inside is where we have the screws that are holding those inserts on, and we have bearings that are not captured. And I knew I might loosen up a couple of them if I did this. So now I've moved those bearings back into their original position. So these are not captured bearings. They will come off in your hands. They will dump out onto the table, and then you will have to get tweezers or something to one by one, put them back in place. So we got the bearings on here, and they're, they put kind of a heavy grease type thing, but that's to hold those bearings in place too. Otherwise, somebody disassembles this, it's going to spill all over. Now I have packets. You can get bearings, ceramic bearings like this, on Amazon, as long as you know the size, and all you have to do is take your calipers and measure the diameter, and you'll know if they're a 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter, whatever diameter bearing, and you can order a whole packet of these type bearings. So even if you lose some, you can replace them, but better not to lose them. And of course they're ceramics, so they're not going to be magnetic, so you can't just run a magnet over whatever and gather them up. So that makes it more difficult. So these little darlings, of course, are held on either side of the backspacer where these screws go through. So no, they are not held on from the inside. Okay, so you got those. It's interesting. Let's take a closer look at this. What do we got? Well, we got a backspacer here that runs, big long way. And then you've got your lock bar. So is that just a liner lock, or are you calling this a subframe? I mean, when you had the Kershaw Natrix and all that, and then of course Microtech Matrix, you had this subframe lock. I mean, this is maybe just a liner lock, because you don't really have, a subframe that way, but this is a bit more of a liner lock than standard, but a less of a subframe than standard. So I don't know what to call it other than I guess it's working. And you got a ceramic bearing there, and of course you got a steel washer in here, and then of course you got your writing on the backspacer. So it's not terribly complicated. There's a lot of screws that, run up and down these little pieces here, this backspacer on both sides. Other than that, you can make it a lot more busy, and I guess so that kind of explains to me what all those little screws were doing in there. Because in the bag of the extra hardware, because they're for this, right? They're to hold these pieces in case you decide to unscrew these pieces here and take them off, and maybe you could go anodize them individually and then put them back on, but then you got to keep track of all these, and if you lose one or two, well, you've got some extra in the box. Interesting. Okay, got it back together. Now you can't, it's nice because you can use this to put additional pressure on that, so you can use that bolt, as, something you can really, put pressure on to tighten that down. I wouldn't use a lot of extra pressure, but I use some because this blade's so heavy, it doesn't matter. You're going to drop, it's going to drop regardless, just like that. But I didn't want to give it any more pressure than just a bit past snug. And she's good to go. We're back with the Titanus. Woo! She's a big knife. Big, interesting. I love the design, and I just thought it was so interesting that they made them so huge. This and the Vortex as well. They just, I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking or why or whatever, but actually these are a couple of knives they could downsize, do them in G10, liner lock, 14C or a 154 cm blade or something, and they're just a great design. So I think they'd sell well if you made them in like a budget version, or just brought them down to like an 8.5 inch overall length knife and did, just your normal stuff, still. But okay, they are what they are. I like them. Yes, we do. We love them knives. So you guys stay sharp.